Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're going to dive into the world of the 1979 United States quarter dollar. While it may seem like just another coin at first glance, there's a lot more to this quarter than you might think. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this little piece of history could be worth today. Let's step back in time for a moment. The year was 1979, and the world was experiencing quite a few shifts. In the United States, Jimmy Carter was president, and the nation was grappling with inflation and energy crises. The world of pop culture was dominated by iconic figures like The Clash and the rise of the disco era. But while the world was shifting, the U.S. Mint was doing its thing, creating millions of coins, including the quarter dollar, for everyday circulation. The 1979 quarter, like the ones that came before it, features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. If you've ever looked at a quarter, you'll be familiar with this image. George Washington, facing left, his face full of dignity and resolve. The words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year, 1979, are inscribed around Washington's portrait. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the symbol of the eagle perched on an olive branch, another long-standing emblem of American strength, freedom, and peace. But here's the kicker. While these coins were produced in large numbers and used for regular transactions back in 1979, not all quarters are created equal. Most 1979 quarters you find today are in fairly average condition, having circulated for years in wallets, pockets, and vending machines. However, some of these quarters, especially those that have been well-preserved or show unique characteristics, are worth much more than just 25 cents. Let's start with the basics. Condition. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. A coin that has been well preserved, with sharp details, bright luster, and minimal wear, is considered to be in uncirculated condition. These coins are highly prized by collectors because they are rare and hard to find in good condition. Most 1979 quarters you come across will have been through a lot of use and will show signs of wear, dings, scratches, or discoloration. But if you happen to have a 1979 quarter that's been kept in pristine condition, you're looking at a coin worth much more than face value. Now, let's talk about minting errors, which are always a hot topic in the world of coin collecting. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and they can make a coin significantly more valuable. For example, some 1979 quarters were struck with double dies, meaning the design was imprinted onto the coin twice, resulting in a slight overlap of images. Other errors include misaligned dies or off-center strikes. These minting flaws are extremely rare, and collectors go wild for them. So if you happen to find a 1979 quarter with one of these errors, you may just have a valuable treasure on your hands. Another key factor that can affect the value of the 1979 quarter is the mint mark. Mint marks are tiny letters on coins that indicate where the coin was struck: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Most 1979 quarters were struck in Philadelphia and feature no mint mark, while others were produced in Denver, marked with a D. The ones minted in Philadelphia are a bit more common, but if you have a 1979 quarter from the Denver Mint, it could be rarer. Some collectors specifically seek out coins from certain mints, so this factor can definitely influence a coin's worth. So, let's get to the exciting part. Just how much could your 1979 quarter actually be worth? If you have a 1979 quarter in top-tier, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin worth significantly more than its face value. And here's the big reveal. A rare, pristine 1979 quarter, especially one with a minting error, could be worth as much as $73,000. Yes, that's right, $73,000 for a single quarter. This is a staggering price for a coin that many of us would overlook as just pocket change. You might be wondering how it's possible for a coin that was once worth only 25 cents to now be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The key is rarity. While millions of 1979 quarters were minted, The ones that remain in excellent condition or have minting errors are extremely rare. And as with any collectible, rarity and demand drive up the price. So, how do you know if your 1979 quarter is worth this kind of money? First, take a good look at its condition. If the coin is worn down and scratched, it's probably worth just its face value. But if it's been well kept and still shines like new, you could be in luck. Next, check for any signs of minting errors. Look closely at the design for any double strikes, misalignments, or other unusual characteristics. If you find something that looks different from a regular quarter, you could have a rare piece in your hands. If you suspect your 1979 quarter is valuable, it's a good idea to have it professionally appraised. A numismatist or a coin expert can assess its condition and determine if it has any rare features that could increase its value. They can also help you find the best place to sell or auction the coin, should you choose to part with it. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who enjoys the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, it's always worth taking a second look at the coins in your collection. Who knows, you might just have a 1979 quarter that could make you thousands of dollars richer. Top 2, we're diving into the world of the 1980 United States quarter dollar, a coin that may seem pretty standard at first glance, but could potentially make you a lot of money. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for to turn your 1980 quarters into a rare treasure. The year was 1980, and the United States was in the midst of an interesting era. The country was dealing with high inflation and an economic downturn. But on the flip side, the 80s were also marked by big moments in pop culture, like the rise of the Walkman and the debut of Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. But while all this was happening, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of quarters, including the 1980 quarter dollar, for circulation across the country. Little did they know, this particular coin would eventually catch the attention of collectors and be worth far more than just 25 cents. When you first look at the 1980 quarter, you'll notice the classic design, which has remained largely unchanged since 1932. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll see the profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Around his head, you'll find the word liberty, the phrase "In God We Trust," and of course, the year 1980 etched onto the coin. This design has been the face of the quarter for decades, and it represents the strength, dignity, and resolve of America's first president. On the reverse side, the quarter features the majestic bald eagle perched on an olive branch. The eagle has long been a symbol of freedom, courage, and strength, and it's the perfect image to represent the United States. Surrounding the eagle are the words United States of America and quarter dollar, identifying the coin's denomination. At first glance, it might seem like just another regular quarter. However, as with most coins, the value of the 1980 quarter can fluctuate significantly depending on its condition and certain unique characteristics. While millions of these quarters were minted and circulated, the ones that have remained in excellent condition or have rare minting errors are the ones that have truly captured the attention of collectors. Now let's talk about the condition of the coin, because this is one of the most important factors when it comes to coin collecting. A coin's value is heavily influenced by how well it has been preserved. Most 1980 quarters that you find in circulation today will likely show signs of wear and tear, such as scratches, discoloration, or fading of the design. But if you're lucky enough to come across a 1980 quarter in uncirculated condition, meaning it's never been used in daily transactions, and it still shines as bright as the day it was minted, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Uncirculated coins are incredibly rare, and as such, they're highly prized by collectors. The sharpness of the design and the bright luster that remains on the coin make it a standout piece in any collection. In fact, an uncirculated 1980 quarter can fetch much higher prices than the quarters that show their age. And that's not all. If the coin is in mint condition with little to no wear, it becomes even more valuable. When coins are well preserved, collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. But that's not the only factor that can make your 1980 quarter worth more. Minting errors are another key consideration. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and they can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and valuable collectible. For example, there are 1980 quarters that were struck with double dies, meaning the design on the coin was imprinted twice, resulting in a slightly doubled image. Other potential minting errors could include off-center strikes, where the design isn't perfectly aligned, or coins that were struck on the wrong type of metal planchets. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors, and they can significantly increase the value of a coin. Another factor to consider when evaluating the 1980 quarter is its mint mark. Mint marks are small letters found on coins that tell you where the coin was made. The two primary mint marks for the 1980 quarter are D for the Denver Mint and no mint mark at all for the Philadelphia Mint. The Denver minted quarters are more common, while the Philadelphia quarters are rarer. However, if you happen to have a coin minted in a special year or one with a rare error, your coin might be even more valuable. So now, let's get to the most exciting part. Just how much could your 1980 quarter be worth? If you have one in uncirculated condition or one that features a minting error, the value can rise substantially. The value of a rare 1980 quarter, depending on its condition and whether it has any minting errors, could reach an impressive $70,000. Yes, you heard that right, $70,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible to think that such a small, seemingly ordinary coin could fetch such a high price. If you think you may have one of these rare 1980 quarters, it's time to check its condition. Look for any signs of minting errors or unusual characteristics. And don't forget to inspect the mint mark as well. If you're not sure about its value, it's always a good idea to have a professional numismatist or coin dealer take a look. They can help assess its condition and determine if it has any rare features that could make it worth a small fortune. So, whether you've been collecting coins for years or are just getting started, always remember that the real value of a coin lies in its rarity and condition. That old 1980 quarter sitting in your coin jar or collection might just be the next hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 3, we're taking a closer look at a coin you may have never thought twice about, the 1986 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another run-of-the-mill quarter, but believe me, this little coin could be hiding a big surprise in your collection. Stick around until the end of the video, because we're about to reveal how much your 1986 quarter could be worth today. Let's set the scene for a moment. The year was 1986, and the United States was entering an exciting new chapter. President Ronald Reagan was in office, and the country was experiencing a time of economic recovery following the recessions of the early 1980s. In the world of pop culture, we saw the debut of iconic films like Top Gun and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Mint, they were busy producing millions of coins for daily circulation, including the quarter dollar. The design on the 1986 quarter is part of the classic set that has been around since 1932, depicting George Washington on the obverse side. Designed by John Flanagan, this portrait of Washington represents the steadfast leadership of the nation's first president. Along with his image, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" surround him, and the year 1986 is inscribed at the bottom. This design has been synonymous with American quarters for decades, and it's instantly recognizable to collectors and everyday people alike. Flipping the coin over, you'll find the reverse side showcasing a bold image of a bald eagle perched on an olive branch. The eagle, symbolizing strength and freedom, has long been an emblem of the United States. This side of the coin also features the words United States of America and quarter dollar, making it clear that this coin is part of the currency used for everyday transactions. So, what makes the 1986 quarter dollar stand out in the world of coin collecting? The answer is simple. It's all about rarity, condition, and potential minting errors. While most 1986 quarters may seem like they're worth no more than 25 cents, that's not always the case. There are certain factors that can make this coin significantly more valuable. First, let's talk about condition. As with any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Most of the 1986 quarters you find today are worn down from years of circulation. They may have scratches, discoloration, or other signs of use that reduce their value. But if you happen to find an uncirculated 1986 quarter, meaning it hasn't been used in daily transactions and is still in pristine condition, it could be worth far more than just a quarter. Coins in excellent condition, with minimal wear and vibrant details, are highly sought after by collectors because they are rare to find in this state. In fact, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin becomes. So, when you come across a 1986 quarter, take a good look at it. Does it still have its original shine? Are the details crisp and clear? If it's in near-perfect condition, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth much more than you think. But the condition is just one piece of the puzzle. Minting errors are another factor that can elevate the value of your 1986 quarter. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that's different from the standard issue. These coins are incredibly rare and often fetch a much higher price because they are considered one of a kind. Common minting errors in quarters include double strikes, where the design is imprinted twice, creating a slightly overlapping effect, or off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the coin. If you happen to find a 1986 quarter with one of these errors, it could be worth thousands of dollars, far more than just the face value of 25 cents. Error coins are prized by collectors because they are unusual and unique, making them stand out from regular, mass-produced coins. Another factor to consider is the mint mark. The mint mark tells you where the coin was struck. For the 1986 quarter, there are two possible mint marks: D for the Denver Mint and no mint mark at all for the Philadelphia Mint. While both are common, certain mint marks or rarities can influence a coin's value. If you find a quarter minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, it might be worth a little more simply because there are fewer of them than Denver minted coins. However, if you find one with a rare error or exceptional quality, the value can skyrocket. So now that we've established how a well-preserved or error-ridden 1986 quarter could be worth much more than face value, let's talk about the potential value. This is where it gets really exciting. If you have an uncirculated 1986 quarter in mint condition, or one that shows an uncommon minting error, it could fetch a pretty penny. The most sought-after 1986 quarters, especially those in pristine condition or with rare minting flaws, can be worth as much as $67,000. Yes, you heard that right. $67,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible how something as simple as a 25-cent coin can be worth so much. So, how do you know if your 1986 quarter is worth this kind of money? First, carefully inspect its condition. If the coin is well preserved, with sharp details and minimal signs of wear, it's worth checking further. Next, look for any unusual characteristics like double strikes or off-center minting errors. If you find something that doesn't look quite right, it could be a rare error coin that collectors will be eager to add to their collection. That if you think you have a valuable 1986 quarter, consider getting it professionally appraised by a coin expert. A numismatist can assess its condition, verify if there are any minting errors, and determine its true market value. They can also help you find the best place to sell or auction your coin if you decide to part with it. As always, keep in mind that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. That old quarter sitting in your drawer or jar might just turn out to be a valuable gem that could change your life. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, it's always worth taking a closer look at the coins you have on hand. Top 4, we have a fascinating story to share about a coin that's often overlooked but could potentially make you a lot of money. You might be sitting on a hidden gem without even knowing it. Yes, we're talking about the 1996 United States quarter dollar, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but there's much more to it than meets the eye. Stick with us as we uncover the history, rarity, and value of the 1996 quarter, and by the end, you'll know just how much one of these coins could be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1996, a year that saw some pretty significant events in history. Bill Clinton was re-elected as President of the United States, and the world was watching as the Summer Olympics took place in Atlanta, Georgia. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of quarters as part of its regular coinage release, including the 1996 quarter dollar. This coin, which features the classic design that's been on quarters for decades, was produced in large quantities. But little did they know, some of them would turn into valuable treasures down the road. The 1996 quarter features the same design that has been around since 1932. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the familiar profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This image, created by artist John Flanagan, has been an iconic representation of Washington for decades. Surrounding Washington's profile are the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," in the year 1996, marking the coin's production. On the reverse side, we have the classic bald eagle perched on an olive branch, a symbol of the strength, freedom, and courage of the United States. The eagle is surrounded by the words "United States of America" and "quarter dollar," indicating its value. For many people, this design is as familiar as the back of their hand, and it's one of the most recognizable symbols of American coinage. So, what makes the 1996 quarter special, and why should you care about it? The answer lies in a few key factors: rarity, condition, and certain features that make it stand out from the millions of other quarters produced that year. First, let's talk about rarity. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of 1996 quarters, many of them were used in everyday transactions, which means most have suffered wear and tear. You've probably seen plenty of worn-out quarters with faded designs, scratches, and discoloration. However, coins that have been kept in pristine condition, coins that haven't been circulated and still have their original shine, are much harder to find. These well-preserved coins are more valuable because they are in much better condition than the majority of their counterparts. If you happen to find a 1996 quarter that looks like it just came out of the mint, you've got a potential treasure in your hands. These uncirculated coins are in high demand among collectors who are always on the lookout for coins in excellent condition. An uncirculated quarter with sharp details, a clean surface, and no signs of wear can fetch a significantly higher price than a quarter that has been used for decades. But wait, there's more. If you're lucky enough to find a 1996 quarter with a minting error, that coin could be worth even more. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, creating a coin that's different from the standard issue. These errors are incredibly rare and can make a coin extremely valuable. For example, there could be a 1996 quarter with a double strike, meaning the design was struck twice during the minting process, causing a faint, blurry image. Other possible errors could include off-center strikes, where the design doesn't align correctly on the coin, or even coins that were struck on the wrong type of planchet, which could make the coin's composition different from what was intended. Minting errors like these are often highly sought after by collectors, as they make the coin unique and one of a kind. Another key factor to consider is the mint mark. For the 1996 quarter, there are two main mint marks to look for: D for the Denver Mint and no mint mark for the Philadelphia Mint. The quarters minted in Denver are generally more common than those from Philadelphia. However, mint marks themselves don't always make a coin more valuable unless, of course, the coin has other rare qualities, like a minting error or exceptional condition. So, let's get to the most exciting part: the value of your 1996 quarter. If you happen to have an uncirculated quarter in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Depending on the coin's quality and any unique features, it could be worth as much as $63,000. Yes, you heard that right, $63,000 for a single 1996 quarter. That's a lot of money for something that started off as just a 25-cent coin. So, how do you know if your 1996 quarter is worth that much? First, carefully inspect the coin for any signs of wear. If it's in near-perfect condition, you may have a winner. Next, look for any signs of minting errors, like a double strike or an off-center design. These rare errors could skyrocket the value of your coin. Finally, check the mint mark to see where the coin was produced. If you think you have a valuable 1996 quarter, it's a good idea to have it professionally appraised by a coin expert. A numismatist can help determine the coin's condition, verify any minting errors, and give you an accurate market value. They can also point you in the right direction if you want to sell your coin or add it to your collection. Whether you've been collecting coins for years or you're just starting, it's always worth checking your change or looking through old coin jars for hidden treasures. Who knows? That old quarter from 1996 might just be worth more than you think. Top 5, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. quarters and uncovering the hidden value of a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1998 United States quarter dollar. This coin, which might appear just like any other quarter in your pocket, has a story to tell, and it could be worth much more than you expect. Stick around because, by the end, you'll find out how much a 1998 quarter can really fetch in today's market. Let's go back in time to 1998, a year full of historical events that shaped the world we live in today. The world was adjusting to the rise of the internet and technology, with companies like Google, eBay, and PayPal all starting to change the way we communicate, shop, and do business. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was doing what it does best, producing millions of coins for circulation, including the quarter dollar. But while these coins were being used in day-to-day transactions, few could have predicted that some of them would eventually become a collector's dream. At first glance, the 1998 quarter may not seem special. It features the familiar design that's been in circulation for decades, the profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This iconic image was designed by John Flanagan back in 1932 and is still used on quarters to this day. Surrounding Washington's portrait are the words "Liberty" and "God We Trust" in the year of issue, 1998. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic eagle design, which has graced U.S. quarters since the coin's inception. The eagle, perched on an olive branch, symbolizes strength, freedom, and the spirit of America. The reverse side also includes the words United States of America and quarter dollar, indicating its value. So, why should you care about this seemingly standard quarter from 1998? What makes it so valuable? The truth is, like many coins, the value of a 1998 quarter isn't always about its design, but rather its rarity, condition, and any special features that set it apart from the millions of other quarters produced that year. First, let's talk about rarity. While the 1998 quarter was minted in large numbers, the ones that are in pristine condition, those that have never been circulated, are much harder to come by. Most of the quarters that were produced during this time were used in daily transactions, which means they've gone through years of wear and tear. If you happen to find a 1998 quarter that looks like it's brand new, you might be holding onto something valuable. Coins in near-perfect condition are highly sought after by collectors, and that's where the value starts to rise. But what if you've got more than just a clean, shiny quarter? What if you found one with an error? Minting errors are rare occurrences that happen during the coin production process, and they can make a coin much more valuable. A 1998 quarter with a minting error could be worth significantly more than a standard, uncirculated version. Common errors include double strikes, where the design appears faint or off-center, or coins that were struck on the wrong type of planchet, resulting in a coin with unusual color or texture. For example, if your 1998 quarter has a misaligned strike, where the design appears off-center, that could make it much more valuable. These kinds of minting mistakes are extremely rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for error coins because they are one of a kind. The more unusual the error, the higher the value it can fetch. So, if you come across a 1998 quarter with any noticeable errors, it might just be worth more than you ever imagined. Another thing to keep an eye on is the mint mark. The 1998 quarter was produced in both the Denver and Philadelphia mints, and you'll find the mint mark on the obverse side, right below the date. Coins from the Denver mint have a D mint mark, while those from the Philadelphia mint do not have a mint mark at all. While the mint mark alone doesn't always increase the value of a coin, quarters from certain mints can sometimes be more sought after, especially if they're in exceptional condition or have a rare error. Now, let's get to the big reveal: the value of your 1998 quarter. If you're lucky enough to have a quarter that's in perfect, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be holding on to a coin that's worth a small fortune. Depending on the condition and rarity of the coin, a 1998 quarter could be worth as much as $63,000. That's right, $63,000 for a quarter that was once worth just 25 cents. So, how do you know if your 1998 quarter is worth that much? The first step is to examine the coin carefully. Look for any signs of wear. If the coin is still shiny and free of scratches, nicks, or discoloration, it could be worth more. Next, check for any minting errors, like an off-center strike or double die. If you spot one of these unique features, it's time to get your coin appraised by a professional. A certified numismatist, someone with expertise in coins, can help you determine the exact value of your 1998 quarter and verify whether it has any minting errors. They can also help you sell or auction the coin to get the best price if it's indeed a rare find. If you're a collector or you simply want to learn more about rare coins, it's always a good idea to keep your eyes peeled for treasures in your spare change or in old coin jars. You never know when you'll stumble upon a coin worth far more than its face value. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1998 United States quarter dollar. Remember, not every coin from this year will make you rich, but with a little luck and some careful inspection, you might just find a quarter that's worth a lot more than you ever thought possible. Thanks for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed learning about the 1998 quarter, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more exciting coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next video.